Oilers, you got a great offense with Connor McDavid. So I have them sweeping them.
Yeah, well, I don't think you heard my point. The San Francisco Giants have 3 more in the 2010s than the Rangers have in their entire history. So, yeah.
It's hard to get back and to get back-to-back wins. And I don't see the Lightning doing it here, so I have them losing to the Hurricanes in 6.
We don't talk about the 2010s because the 2010s had the Astros. And if the Astros didn't happen, the Yankees would have won in 2017.
He was close to Frank Reich, and they want Frank Reich back, so that's what they got. It's their discount Frank Reich.
Kaprizov and the rest of this crew. Jordan Greenway, who doesn't get enough props. He definitely is somebody who needs to be mentioned more.
Hi, this is Julie Dobbs. You're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. This is something we've talked about before, but there are a lot more options now, I would say, for the Bengals in trading for a quarterback, and I think they do it, Austin.
Yeah, I will say it is not, while Jake Browning has had some bad throws and has had some bad moments thus far, he's played 2 of the best defenses in the league during his first 2 starts. And they won the game that he came in for Burrow, came back in that game. So facing Brian Flores and that a stellar defense, even though he definitely played worse than he probably should have, and facing the Broncos, who had the Defensive Player of the Year last year, and again, he played worse than he probably should have, I don't think it's fair. I don't think they're going to make a trade until closer to the trade deadline because I think they believe in Jake Browning, and I do a little bit too, even though he has, again, struggled this far into the season. I will say that if they do make a move, I think it's going to be for an established veteran, not a... My point by bringing that up is like, why wouldn't you always do established veteran? I have heard some of my friends say like Malik Willis. Malik Willis is a very good QB. I think he's extremely talented. I loved him when he started last year with the Packers. But I think that they're going to go for more of a Jameis Winston type or Russell Wilson than a Malik Willis, a younger QB. Even though I think Willis is talented, I think they want a this year solution, not a future backup quarterback solution, if that makes any sense.
Yes, that does make sense. And you mentioned Russell Wilson. That's someone who I could see going to the Bengals because to support your idea of training for a younger guy, that's basically Jake Browning.
So, or Cooper Rush. I think Cooper Rush, Malik Willis, Jake Browning are all in the same boat of quarterback. Like Cooper Rush can win you football games, but it's not going to be a lot of them.
Yeah, and he's solid. I think what this team needs, this Bengals team, because a few years ago when Jake Browning was playing and they were competing for a playoff spot, they had a better defense. They need to score points.
That's why I think Jameis Winston. Because even though Winston's going to have games where he throws you out of it, there's also going to be games where Jameis Winston basically wins the game by himself. I mean, he's had some amazing games, even when he was with the Saints most recently, or the Browns a couple of years ago as well, where he can win you games. But also there's games where he throws 500 yards and 5 picks, right? But yes, I think that is the type of player you want, because at this point it's basically just arm punts. And I would go for Winston. I think he is the one I would choose for their offense, to get Jamar Chase going, to get T. Higgins going, to get Noah Fant, Mike Gesicki, Andre Osavez, Jermaine Burton, Chase Brown, Samaje Perine, like this entire offense going. Also, Jameis is used to playing on teams with bad O-lines, with the Tampa previously, before they got a good O-line. And he has experience working with stellar wide receivers, whether it's, I think Amari Cooper was still in the Browns when Jameis was there, but also he's obviously played with Mike Evans and some other very good wide receivers. So I think Jameis is the one I'd go for, but I understand the Russ pick as well. I think that both of them would not take a lot to trade for, and they would be on basically 1-year rentals.
Jameis would be cheaper than Russ, in my opinion. I would go Russ because I think he doesn't give you the high ceiling that Jameis said, as you talked about, but to me, Russ can get it going and be a stabilizing player. And he was good with that Steelers offense. And they had George Pickens, but Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, I think he would air the ball out. He'd support the run game, which needs to get going. So that would be a reason why I would choose Russell Wilson, because he's safer than Jameis Winston. And if I'm the Bengals, I want that versus Jake Browning, who is good, but I want a guy that can get into a shootout. And Russell Wilson can do that more times than Jameis Winston could. And you'll get less negatives than Jameis Winston. The negative is your offense may just not be good, but it won't be a lot of turnovers.
That's true. I don't think either would take too much to trade for. But I think Winston is cheaper, sure, but I don't think either one is going to be too crazy. Now, the question is, do you think that they're going to do it? Do you think they trade for a QB?
I do think they do. And if I look at their schedule, it depends. Because this week they have the Lions and then the Packers the next week. So I think depending on how those two games go, they could trade before October 16th with a divisional matchup against the Steelers.
But you don't want to fall too far back. Right now they're 2-2.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to 2-4. I can see it. I think they'll wait till this week. I think this week is the week that they make the decision because the Lions defense is solid. It's good, but it's not like the past two defenses that are top 5 in the league easily.
Yeah. And it's just more, you don't want to lose that race in the AFC North, which to me is still very much up for grabs because I don't trust the Steelers to run away with it.
Yeah, I get that.
So, yeah, it's just a question of, and I do think more teams quarterbacks are going to get on the market. Like you may have, Joe Flacco could be available but that's probably more Jake Browning. And it wouldn't really fit the Bengals, but I think more quarterbacks are going to become available over the next few weeks.
Like who?
So I really think Kirk Cousins, that situation is going to get resolved. But the problem is the 1-year deal. The other thing that I am wondering is, I'm trying to think. I wonder. It all depends, but I do think if you look at quarterbacks, young teams, I'm trying to think. Maybe Mac Jones or Kenny Pickett.
But Brock Purdy's out this week, so Mac Jones is
Yeah.
starting again. I don't think the 49ers are going to risk getting rid of Mac Jones with the injury concerns that Brock Purdy's had over the past couple seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I think that
Wilson
Jameis and Russ are the two most evident options. Maybe Joe Flacco because Dylan Gabriel's starting this week. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah. Joe Flacco,
Cool.
but I don't know if he'd fit with the bad offensive line.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's very interesting. I think a lot could happen, and the Bengals may feel pressure to get it done this year. At least get close to the playoffs for when Joe Burrow gets back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
So you think after this week we could see a trade happen if it doesn't go well?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go with the game before October 16th against the Steelers. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.